Meatflation is rocking the nation.
I'll fight a whale. They want me to fight a pig. I'll fight a pig. Hell, they want me to fight my own chicken.
Lock hits and easy rippers that bring in the heat. Subscribe for the beef for me.
Who I am.
Yo. Hey. Who's this guy?
Alex Becerra.
What about this guy?
Junior Dos Santos.
You got it.
Let's go, boys. Meat Boy MMA, the best kept secret in the YouTube MMA prediction sphere. If you're new here, smash sub, costs you absolutely nothing, will likely yield you something. And as always, we'll start by recapping last week's locks. And if you're short on time and just looking for this week's, head straight to the comments because plenty to come for UFC 307. But what were your thoughts on last week's card, Meat Boy? It was the France Throwdown. Benoit Saint-Denis took on Renato Moicano in the meat event. Your boy took Renato Moicano, and it was easy light work for him, start to finish beatdown. So you had Benoit. Were you surprised at all with the outcome?
No, really wasn't too surprised. I was kind of torn on that one, but wow, Benoit is definitely not he's not future champ like everyone kind of thought for a second. Everyone was talking about how this guy's no joke, and it really does seem that what's his name is absolutely peaking right now. Like, he beat the brakes off of Benoit. It was very impressive performance. Benoit's face was mangled. Kind of felt bad for the dude. Back-to-back losses. Is this the end of Benoit though? Like, is he going to BKFC next? I don't know. Like, that was pretty crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, afterwards, Moicano was like, yo, come train with us. Like, he was basically arguing that he's peaked where he's at and needs to join one of those power teams because you got to imagine that the BSD train could keep moving, but it came to a quick halt against my boy Money Moicano. And I mean, maybe Money Moicano is future champ and BSD was the wrong person to insert in that conversation. But nonetheless, impressive stuff from Moicano. I think Bisping even said round one should have been a 10-7, which you don't often hear. So some other interesting fights on that card, Meat Boy. What do you think of Brian Battle? Absolutely smoked Kevin Juice, cut that pretty filthy promo afterwards. I mean, is this guy the new heel of the UFC? And what do you make of Brian Battle's sort of his trajectory right now?
Yeah, Brian Battle looked absolutely insane. He changed his nickname. Now he's just a killer, dude. Yeah, man, it's hard to really say that he isn't going to reach that top 5 level, to be honest.
Yeah, the dude looks better and better, and I hope he gets a top fight. I hope they put him against Colby Covington, because how fun would the build-up be for that? Whether it's a co-meet event or maybe even a headlining, I would love to see Brian get that opportunity, and Colby would be a fitting dance partner, I think. But we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Meatlock, Meat Boy. We had a nice little fat Meatlock streak going, but came to a crashing halt when Fares ZM absolutely flatlined the steamroller Matt Frivola, and we should have listened to Diesel in the comments. Diesel seems to have the pulse on Matt Frivola. We faded him when he was riding him, and then this last time he's like, I don't know if he wins this one when we were riding him, and ultimately Frivola got absolutely steamrolled himself. So what'd you think of the L of a Meatlock, and did Fares ZM impress you? Because he looked pretty good to me, and I wonder if this dude, I wonder what's next for him, because he looked really good to me. What were your thoughts on Fares ZM?
Yeah, ZM, man, I still can't believe he flatlined Steamroller. Steamroller was supposed to do the flatlining. We missed on that one, so that was not a good take. But we were actually talking about it, off camera, that we might have switched over, but then we were gonna be mad at ourselves, so we kept with. It's just unfortunate. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. But Fares, he's looking good. He's looking way better than I've ever seen him before, so I am very surprised. But he's definitely leveling up. That's a big thing.
Yeah, an interesting one for sure. Nonetheless, though, officially it was Frivola for the Meatlock, and it was the L. We will take it. We'll wear it, and we think we have the Meatlock to rectify it this week. So I'm pretty sure that recaps most of the fun fights from the Accor Arena. You ready to move on to Salt Lake City, UFC 307?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's get right into this Meatlock. This is a juicy card indeed.
Yeah, swap us through. It's the Meatlock. You see the text, and the homie Mario Bautista, we think, is ready to basically announce himself to a lot of new fight fans. And Jose Aldo obviously is the legend that will amplify this booking, but we think that Bautista's just kind of on a different level, right? The kid's 30 years old, riding a 6-fight win streak. He's 8-2 in the UFC, and his only losses were in his debut, a tough fight against Corey Sandhagen, who is top 3 in the division, and then he got slept by Trevin Jones, which obviously is a loss that hasn't aged nicely, but it's since that sort of lone hiccup that he's gone on this absolute tear, 6-fight win streak, picking up finishes, a couple decisions here and there, but nice wins against guys like Ricky Simone, against Brian Kelleher when the dude was peak, and he's a dude who just gets better and better each fight. So last time we tried to meatlock the opponent of Jose Aldo, it was when he fought Jonathan Martinez in a co-meet event slot in Brazil, and for lack of a better term, Jonathan Martinez just did not show up that night. He seemed mystified, starstruck, and just sort of petrified by the moment that was surrounding him. And Jose Aldo taught him and us a lesson that he still had plenty left, yet here we are again, rolling with Bautista and fading Jose Waldo. So in this meatlock meet, what are your thoughts on why Mario Bautista is the real Jonathan Martinez, and why do you think Bautista is the one that will actually steamroll Aldo and show him that he probably should have retired on a high note when he fought a couple months ago?
Yeah, Mario Bautista has absolutely been leveling up big time. He's fighting out of the MMA lab over in Arizona, and those guys are no joke. I think Jose Waldo, he's getting old, he's getting, washed up, and Batista he isn't really that kind of guy to idolize anyone. This guy is an absolute killer. He's a lunatic. I mean, anyone that gets a chest tattoo, they are down to brawl. So, yeah, Mario Batista is gonna come in. He's got a beautiful fight winning streak right now. I mean, he's been absolutely decimating a lot of these guys. I think he's the next young buck. He's not gonna fumble like the fake dragon. This one pretty confident in, and I feel bad because Jose also is an absolute G, but I don't know. I think this is the beginning of the end on his way out.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, if the Meat Boys went back and watched the tape of us, Jonathan Martinez breakdown versus Jose Aldo, I mean, we were probably saying similar things. And by Sunday, maybe we'll be the marks again who are filming the next video saying, wow, we fell for it again. We picked against Jose Aldo. But to your point of Mario Batista being kind of a different breed, I mean, I've seen some interviews of him recently where he essentially confirmed that he's not going to be afraid of Jose Aldo. He's out there to destroy Jose Aldo. And we don't see him as a guy that the moment's going to be too big for. So we like Bautista. It's interesting, though, because he's a slight favorite, right? Minus 148, plus 124 is Jose Waldo. But Tapology is overwhelmingly bullish on the OG Aldo. 80%, in fact, is rolling with Jose Waldo. A putrid 20% is going with Bautista, and it's basically beige on both sides. Are you at all surprised by all the decision backers for this fight? And are you shocked that 80% of Tapology is bullish on Aldo, or what do you make of the Tapology?
I'm not shocked. Aldo will always have a lot of backers. He is a legend of the game. He has a lot of fans, and Batista's kind of a new guy. He's kind of a dark horse. People don't really know. He's not a household name yet. Just the hardcores are kind of aware of him, but he is, young blood. He is coming in there, and he's gonna, put a staple in this weekend.
Yeah, good stuff. I buy that for sure. It's the Meatlock for a reason. We like Mario Bautista to find a way to get this one done, whether it is by decision or maybe he picks up a sneaky finish. I mean, historically, Jose Aldo is a very difficult guy to spark, but nonetheless, Bautista's out there finishing a lot of guys. So maybe that's the statement he makes. Either way, we'll be keeping it simple, throwing it down to easy 148 to net 100, get the Meatlock back on track, and pick up our 107th overall. So any last thoughts on this Mario Meatlock?
No, this is an absolute meatlock. Let's get to the next.
Yeah, swap us through. It's a funny light heavyweight showdown and a fight that we broke down a couple weeks ago, right? And we're breaking down Ryan Man, Superman Span versus OSP. We're doing some last second deep diving. And what do you know, an hour prior to us even beginning the film sesh, the fight got canceled because OSP or Ryan Span, one of them got sick a couple days before, right? So the mid-vid ripper got canceled on the spot. We were both leaning OSP at that time, but the odds were a little bit different, and that's kind of what I want to focus on here. What do you make of the fact that when these guys were, that were paired 3 weeks ago, Superman Span was like minus 350. You were getting close to plus 400 for OSP. Yet this time around, just weeks later, plus 220 is OSP and minus 270 is Superman Span. What do you make of the odds change, and Are you back in OSP? Because historically, you have been all over OSP when he gets victories as a dog. I mean, I think back to that last fight against Kenny Nzechukwu, where pretty sure OSP was plus 500 in that one, and you picked him. He got it done over a peaking tough Kennedy, even though OSP is 40 plus years old. So are you taking him again in this one? Do you see the juicy value? And do you wish it was plus 400 again, or does plus 220? Are the odds makers finally respecting OSP?
Yeah, they're definitely respecting OSP a lot more than before, but still the disrespect. I mean, OSP's, he's an OG, and Ryan Spann has not proven really anything recently, and except for he's probably gonna lose this weekend. So I love seeing OSP as a dog. He's always winning these types of fights, so it will not surprise me when he wins again this weekend.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones where, I mean, Ryan Superman Span, he's like 10 years younger. He's going to be a little bit taller, although he's at a reach disadvantage. OSP has that crazy 80-inch reach, but the youth is on Ryan Span's side, and Tapology, as a result, is overwhelmingly on Ryan Span's side as well. 81% is going with Superman Span. It's basically all brown for the KO, so they think that OSP is out there to get slept by Superman Span, and to me, that would be interesting. I mean, yes, we saw Superman Span flatline Dominic Reyes, but that was his last win. It was almost 2 years ago at this point, and he's been finished in two of his last three straight L's. So Superman Span is out there getting finished, and I don't know. I mean, OSP did get finished by Felipe Lins, and that's obviously discouraging, but that was like the first punch of the fight, and it just kind of shut his lights off. So do you think that the Tapology backers who are taking Span think that it's going to be similar to that OSP Lins fight where it's just early and often Superman Span sparks him in 5 seconds, or is Tapology kind of missing the mark with the overwhelming bullishness on the KO finish over OSP?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I think OSP, if he wins by KO, I would be very impressed. But I kind of see OSP getting this done, most likely the OSP choke, or probably by decision. Span, I think his only way of winning is going to be by KO. But I don't know. I've lost kind of all faith in Ryan Superman Span. He used to be the man, and now he's just about to become a little slice of ham for OSP when he chokes him out this weekend.
Yeah, very true. And, I don't blame you for abandoning the Ryan Span hype train because the dude's lost three straight, as mentioned. And most recently, he got absolutely smoked by Bumdog, Bogdan Guskov. And we've been harsh on Bumdog, but he got absolutely smoked. It wasn't even competitive. So I'm with you on this one, me boy. I like OSP plus 220. I think I wish it was juicier, but I do agree with you that it's still somehow disrespectful. And I like OSP to either pick up a late sneaky Bond flu or St. Preux choke, as it's called, or maybe it's just another close split decision because that fight against Kennedy went the distance. Could have gone either way. I mean, some argued that Kennedy should have won, but if it's a close fight, then maybe the odds makers will show OSP some more love because he historically has been on the right end and the wrong end of decisions, like most fighters. So I'm taking OSP either by late sub or split decision. How do you think he gets this done? Is he finishing him?
Yeah, I think he is going to finish him. I think he's going to choke him out first, second round. I feel bad for Span because Span's still pretty young, but he's about to get taken out by the old bull.
Yeah, we'll see if the OG comes through. We're both going with OSP, the sizable dog. Let us know in the comments if you agree that Superman's kryptonite will be Ovin St. Preux. But nonetheless, people swap us through because it's one of your all-time favorite fighters and a fighter who, although he is one of your GOATs, has lost 3 of 4, and he's a plus 170 dog on the prelims this weekend. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 17-7-1, is a plus 170 dog, and he's taking on Joaquin Buckley, who is riding a nice 4-fight win streak. He just smoked Nursultan Ruziboev in a fight that a lot of people thought Nursultan would get that one done. And prior to that, he had some great finishes. I mean, Vicente Luque got smoked. Andre Fiallo usually gets smoked by everyone, but nonetheless, Buckley did it to him as well. And the odds makers are liking him as a minus 205 favorite in this contest against Wonder Boy, who, I mean, it wasn't long. I guess it was kind of long ago. It was 2017 when he was fighting for a championship belt and coming just that close to securing it. But since then, he's basically gone 500. Again, he's lost 3 of 4, and his only recent win was in 2022 against Kevin Holland. So, do you like Wonder Boy to get back on track? I mean, like OSP, he's 40 plus as well, and he's taking on a surging, peaking Buckley who keeps getting better and better. So, are you taking your boy Wonder Boy in this one, or is Buckley going to show him that the game has moved on?
Yeah, no, Buck, he's definitely been leveling up. He looked great with that grappling, but I just don't see him as a world-class grappler. Wonderboy doesn't lose to stand-up striking, so if they stand up, he's definitely winning. Buckley has to take him down, but can he? I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold on that idea. Like, is Buckley really as good as Burns or Bilal? That's a hard one for me to sell, but or is Wonderboy that bad when it comes to grappling, and even a low-level grappler can take him down or smother him? So it'll be very interesting to see. I gotta imagine Wonderboy knows what's gonna happen, and he's gonna keep it on the feet, and he's gonna point him out. Maybe KO, but probably a decision and get those points.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I kind of was figuring that you would be rolling with your boy Wonder Boy because this is one of those meet in the middle matchups where we'll see if Buckley's ready for this level. But I don't know, Meat Boy. I think I'm going to roll with Buckley in this one because the dude, to me, keeps getting better and better. It's visible, it's obvious, and I think that, I mean, I was watching Embeddeds earlier, and Wonder Boy is kind of posturing as if he's going to be doing a lot of grappling in this fight, and his partner that he was rolling with was saying, you know, it was Weston Wilson, I believe. He's saying how strong of a grappler Wonder Boy is, and I don't know, I don't buy that at all. And I think that if this fight does feature some wrestling, that it's going to be by Buckley's design as opposed to by Thompson's. And I think that even though, you know, you brought up a good point, has Thompson faced like a bad wrestler? He's gone against Shavkat. He got ragdolled by Bilal, by Gilbert Burns, like these high level guys. Is he able to thwart Buckley's level? I don't think he is. I think to your second question, is Wonder Boy that bad at grappling? I think the answer is going to be yes. And I see Buckley finding a way to just really mix it up and have more tools ultimately than Wonder Boy because I don't see a world where Buckley goes out here and gets finished. He did get smoked in one punch by Chris Curtis, and that was a couple years ago at this point, and the last time he got finished. But I just don't know if Wonderboy has that pop that he will need to finish a guy like Buckley at this point in his career. So I'm taking Buckley. Tapology, though, it's pretty close. It's closer than I thought it would be. 59% is rolling with New Mansa Buckley, 41% taking Wonderboy, and it's basically beige on both sides. So I kind of agree with that. I'm going to go Buckley by decision. Ultimately, if you're taking Wonder Boy, do you agree with Tapology that it's decision or any chance he picks up that finish?
I think it's, I think Wonderboy is going to pick up the decision. If he picks up the finish, I'll be very impressed. But I think it's going to be maybe a fun decision. Buckley, if Buckley wins, I think he's going to grapple and get him to the ground, and I'd probably be a lame, grappling for 3 rounds. I don't think he gets the finish on the ground. To be honest, I don't think he's good enough to finish Wonderboy.
Yeah, and what a statement it'll be if he is able to ground and pound TKO Wonder Boy. But should be interesting for sure. He's taking Wonder Boy. I'm taking Buckley to get this one done. But swap us through, Meat Boy, because it's basically banger after banger finishing out this card. And this next one's pretty interesting. I think it's Roman Dolidze taking on Kevin Holland, who is back on track, right? Kevin Holland finally just got a nice win over Michal Olegzaychuk. It was performance of the night. It was at middleweight, and it was an easy 90-second finish. And it was good for Holland because he had lost those 2 straight fights, right? Both at 170, one to Jack Della, the other two Michael Venom Page, and just a very interesting stylistic fight. But he's taking on Dolidze in this one, who is 13-3, 7-3 in the UFC, and interestingly enough, is a plus 130 dog, despite coming off a really nice win against Anthony Smith. And that was a fight where he basically filled in on 48 hours notice. It was in the wrong weight class. It was up at light heavyweight, and Dolidze went out there and absolutely decimated Anthony Smith, a fight that wasn't even competitive. So he's coming back down to 185, his natural home for this one. But I thought that that performance against Lionheart might be enough to make him a slight favorite in this one. But the odds makers, I guess, liked Kevin Holland's performance more against Oleg Zaychuk than Dolidze's recent one. So in this fight, do you like Dolidze as a slight dog, or is Kevin Holland that much better than Anthony Lionheart Smith, and he's an absolute smoke Roman Dolidze?
Yeah, honestly, I think Kevin Holland, I don't know. I think Roman Dolidze is going to ragdoll Kevin. I think he's going to submit him first, second round. Uh, I think it's gonna be very upsetting. I'm mind blown to be honest that it's that he's the dog. I thought it'd be Pick'em or maybe Roman would be the favorite, but I guess people are back on the Kevin train, the trailblazing train. I just think Roman Dolidze is way stronger. His grappling is pretty insane, and if he takes Kevin down, which I think he will pretty easily, because Kevin isn't like prone to being taken down as far as I've seen. Even pretty bad wrestlers take him down. I think he's gonna get him down, finish him quickly.
Yeah, and we know that Kevin Holland is like his defensive grappling is okay, right? And he is a submission threat. He loves to throw up triangles and stuff from the bottom, and he is trying to be offensive when he is on the bottom. But you're right, he does end up on the bottom a lot. And against a guy like Roman Dolidze, that could be bad news. And I don't know, this one's interesting to me because a couple years ago I might pick Kevin Holland, right? I like Kevin Holland a lot. I think that he is one. I thought that he'd be a future champ, but sometimes I just wonder if Roman Reigns is just going to be hungrier than Kevin Holland. And I mean, if you watch Embedded, it's all Roman Dolidze making fires in the woods, eating steak off of pallets, and the dude is just like out in the wilderness, straight zenning. And Kevin Holland's going to come in laughing and dancing, and that works against guys that aren't absolute psychos. And I just worry that Dolidze is kind of on that sort of psycho level where if Holland isn't as hungry as Roman, then maybe this could be a bad night for him. But Tapology likes Kevin Holland. Vegas likes Kevin Holland. 64% is taking on Tapology is taking Kevin Holland. Are you surprised by those metrics, or is Dolidze just a juicy dog that no one knows about?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very surprised that people aren't hammering. All I know is, once a wise man said, never bet against a Georgian underdog, and this is one of those cases. So I got to ride with the Georgian as an underdog. I think this is one of these very juicy, odd opportunities.
Yeah, good point. That was the wise Thermopylae circa 2020 who made that point, and it rings true more times than it doesn't. So it's an interesting observation there, Meat Boy. I've been going back and forth because, Kevin Holland's 5 years younger. He has that 5-inch reach advantage. He will have the height advantage, but all these same stats were reflected in the Anthony Lionheart Smith fight as far as the intangibles are concerned, minus the age factor. But in this one, I'm going to roll with you, Meat Boy. I don't always take Roman Dolidze, but when I fade him, he seems to win, and when I pick Kevin Holland, he seems to lose. So I'm going to roll with you. Juicy dog for Dolidze. Is it a finish?
Yeah, I think it is gonna be a finish. I think it's gonna be a very quick submission early and often.
I'll roll with that. Let us know in the comments if you think Roman is going to pick up this finish, or are we sleeping on Kevin Holland? And similar to Oleg Zaychuk, Roman Dolidze is getting absolutely slept in 90 seconds. Let us know, Meat Boy. Swap us through, though, because it's another hype train. It's Kayla Harrison. It's the Phenom, essentially, and she's fighting on the same card as the title fight. So obviously, this is a layup opportunity for her to beat a highly ranked woman in Ketlin Vieira and then insert herself as the next competitor against either Juliana Pena or Rocky Pennington if she defends her belt. But it's an interesting fight because Kayla Harrison's minus 1,000, right? And we've seen her in one UFC fight. She absolutely smoked Holly Holm, easy light work, and that was a fight that I think you and I both thought was going to be closer than it was. But it was start to finish beatdown, and Holly Holm looked like an amateur despite being a former champ and a legend of the division. So Harrison could be that good, but she does have the one loss, and it was against Larissa Pacheco just a couple years ago in PFL. And Pacheco obviously is a bigger woman. That was a fight at lightweight, whereas she's cutting down to 135 for the UFC and obviously facing other women that weigh 135. So you wonder if that was just a size thing in that PFL loss. But Ketlin Vieira, her opponent in this fight, is upwards of plus 650. She's a 10-fight UFC veteran, and she only has 3 losses, and they're against pretty tough women, right? She lost a split decision to the champ, Rocky Pennington, in a fight that a lot of people thought Ketlin did enough to win, and then she has the loss to Yana Kunitskaya, who is peaking right now, and then she got finished by Irina Aldana when Irina Aldana was absolutely at her best form about 5 years ago. So Ketlin Vieira has 8 wins. She has former champs on her resume. She beat Holly Holm. She beat Misha Tate. She beat Kat Zingano. Do you like Ketlin Vieira at all as a plus 650 dog, or is Kayla Harrison that much better than everyone in this division, and she's going to make even Ketlin Vieira look like light work?
Yeah, I think Ketlin Vieira, it's gonna be a very sad day for her because I think she's gonna get absolutely manhandled by this absolute beast, Kayla Harrison. I think Harrison is going to absolutely ragdoll her, possibly even embarrass her, and send her off to maybe PFL at this point. I think next title shot is definitely gonna be for Harrison after this. It's almost inevitable. That's what they're kind of trying to set up with her and then also the title on this card. Have some beef, have some talk. But yeah, I think Harrison at a minus 900. I don't know. I'll always fade if they're above 300. It's just never worth it in my opinion because a fight is a fight. Anything can happen. But Harrison should win.
Yeah, the odds are obviously crazy and a testament to how good people think Kayla Harrison is because Kelly Vieira is no joke. And my thoughts are that everyone is just seeing the name Kayla Harrison and not even considering who her opponent is. And that's why the line has just been inflated to minus 1,000 ish. But I don't know, me boy. Ketlin Vieira is pretty tough. And Tapology overwhelmingly obviously is rolling with Kayla Harrison. Majority going for Copper for the submission. Do you agree with that? That if Kayla Harrison gets this one done, it's by sub? Because throughout her career, right, she has 17 wins, but it's pretty divvied up. She has 6 knockouts, she has 4 decisions, and then it does lead the way with 7 submissions. So, do you like submission for Kayla Harrison? I mean, it's one of those fights where minus 1,000, there's nothing there. So if you're gonna shoot for a prop, then you got to call the right method. So is submission how you think she gets this done, or maybe sneaky TKO? Where you at?
Yeah, I think submission to be honest, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's definitely going to the ground. That is for sure. I think submission maybe TKO, but it's definitely going to the ground. That's for sure.
Yeah, I buy that for sure. For Meat Boy's sake, I'll roll Kayla Harrison, but obviously I'm not touching this one. And I don't know, a part of me wants to pick Ketlin Vieira because I do think that this fight is a lot closer than the odds suggest. But I'll roll with the community. I won't fade Kayla Harrison as minus 1,000, at least for Meat Boy's sake, because I got to pick who I think is ultimately going to win. But it's almost a coin flip for me, Meat Boy. I really think that Ketlin Vieira has a little bit of fake life in this contest. So I'll go Kayla Harrison. I'll go by late TKO. Maybe Ketlin's able to survive a couple rounds, and the sneaky TKO finish could be there for Kayla. So, any last thoughts on this one? You're going Kayla. Is it first round?
I think it is first round. I think she's the real deal. I think she's going to absolutely dominate.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how good she is because Ketlin's a true levels test, and we'll see what kind of work she can do on the mic afterwards. Because you got to imagine she'll cut an interesting promo just fights before the co-main event when Pennington tries to defend her belt. So swap us through to that, Meat Boy. We got 2 to go. Rocky Pennington is a minus 170 favorite and a 16-8 fighter taking on Juliana Pena, who at 11-5 is a plus 142 dog, and she's the former champ, right? I mean, the last time we saw her was almost 2 years ago at this point, and that was a fight where she lost her belt back to Nunes in a fight that was simply non-competitive and pretty difficult to watch, honestly. But we can't neglect the fact that she earned the championship belt in the fight before. She beat Amanda Nunes, who was the GOAT, and Nunes was like a minus 700 or 800 favorite in that one. So it was amazing that Pena got the belt, but in that title defense, it was just kind of a discouraging performance, to put mildly. And she's taken on Pennington, who has won 6 straight. She just won the vacant strap in a fight against Mayra Buena Silva, fight that was pretty close, although Buena Silva really gassed out in the 4th and 5th round. And Pennington isn't the most perfect fighter. She's not going to wow you with her strikes, with her speed, with her grappling, with her anything really, but she does have great cardio and she is well rounded, right? She doesn't have any weaknesses despite not having any obvious strengths. So in this fight against Juliana Pena, I mean, Pena's been out 2 years. She's trying to get her belt back, and direct quote, she says she trusts her coaches to help let the dog off the chain. Do you like Juliana Pena on this one as a dog, and is she going to be off the chain, or is Pennington just going to choke her out?
Yeah, honestly, I think Pennington City is going to choke her out and give her a Benjamin on the way out to PFL. The hype beast, the one that beat Nunes. I think her time is kind of peaked. I think she's on her way out. I kind of feel bad for her because once you hit the highest of highs, Pena becomes champion with the biggest upset and then gets absolutely demolished the next fight. It's kind of all downhill from there. And so I think Penchington City is going to absolutely dominate like she has been. Is it going to be an exciting fight, exciting title fight? Probably not. But this is definitely who's going to be the next victim for Harris, that's for sure.
Yeah, good point. And yeah, if you're coming to this co-meet event expecting absolute fireworks in this title fight, then perhaps temper those expectations a little bit because when Pennington fights, it's usually going the distance. I mean, of her last 6 wins, 5 of them have, and they aren't, again, the most sexy performances, but they are often efficient, and she does find ways to win rounds and ultimately win fights. But in this one, I agree with most of your points, Meepo. I wonder if the long layoff isn't going to help Pena, and I wonder if she did already peak. But one thing that I think is crucial to mention, and we saw what it did for Ignacio Bahamondes at the Sphere. This is someone who trains with Bilal Muhammad. She trains under Bilal Muhammad, and she's been in Chicago for as many years as Ignacio has. So Does it at all inspire some confidence knowing that Bilal is the current champ, knowing those coaches are really dialed and setting their fighters up for success, and knowing that they're taking on a fighter in Pennington who is beatable, right? She's good, but she's not dominant. Do any of those factors maybe influence you a little bit that to say Pena has some fake life?
You know, I mean, Pena, she beat Nunes, right? There's always life there, but I don't know. I think that one little hiccup, it was just totally Dunzo Alonso. I don't ever see her really winning ever again.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because she speaks well and she says how hungry she is, but we'll see if that materializes. Ultimately, Meat Boy, I just can't find myself picking against anyone that works with Bilal Muhammad. I almost see them at this point as a fighting nerds type situation. So, as a slight dog, I am semi-reluctantly going to go with Pena in this one. I don't know how she gets this one done. I don't know if she YOLO finishes Pennington or if she wins just enough rounds. I almost think that the longer this fight goes, I think that that favors Pennington, but I don't know. Something tells me Payne is going to find a way to get this one done, and I'm going to be rolling with the 33% of Tapology who agree. 67% though is going with Pennington, so about 2/3 is rolling with Rocky, and it's basically all beige. So if you are taking Pennington, it sounds like you are. Is it decision or any chance Pena gets finished?
Um, I'd be very surprised if there's a finish in this at all, but I think it is gonna go a sloppy, long decision.
I agree. Sloppy, long decision. I'll say it is split ultimately, and I like Pena to find a way to get this one done simply because it could be a more interesting theatrical matchup, Pena versus Kayla Harrison. But we'll see how it plays out. I got Pena, he's got Pennington. Swap us through, Meepo. It's the meat event. It's the last fight of the card, and it's the guy that the UFC seems to call when they are short a main event because Alex Pereira is down to fight anytime, anywhere, and clearly against any opponent because Khalil Roundtree is the eighth ranked fighter in the division. A lot of guys that probably casual fans don't even know who he is, yet they see suddenly Alex Pereira is fighting against him for a title. So it's a fun matchup. It's one where Alex Pereira is a minus 500 favorite and Khalil Roundtree is around plus 380. So despite the impressive five-fight win streak that Khalil is on, Tapology is overwhelmingly rolling with AP, and that makes sense. Obviously, right? The dude is the light heavyweight champ. He's defended his belt multiple times now, and he said this week that I finally now understand this game. And I found that to be kind of a striking comment because if Alex Pereira is just now saying that he understands MMA despite being a multiple time champ and doing so in multiple divisions, that could be a scary sight for his opponents because you wonder what a guy who understands the game version of Alex Pereira looks like when compared to the already champ that he is. So in this fight, do you like Alex Pereira at minus 500? Do the odds scare you away? And if not, plus 380 is pretty juicy for Khalil Roundtree. Any chance he pulls off an upset in Salt Lake City?
You know, man, I don't know why Roundtree is just so dang bad. But I don't know why, but my gut is telling me that Roundtree's gonna pull this off. You know, this has been like the year or two of upsets. All the goats have been demolished. Is this the next goat that gets demolished? I don't know, but something tells me that Roundtree and the boys are gonna get it done, and I don't know, Shama might not get it done, which kills me to say, but you know, in the normal world, Alex Pereira absolutely demolishes, knocks him out first round. But just I don't know why this week just something came to me where I'm like, I think just a weird, Pena upset vibe to Nunes is gonna happen, and it's gonna shock the world.
Yeah, I mean, weird stuff does happen in Salt Lake City, right? Leon Edwards against Kamaru Usman. The fight Kamaru's dominating for 4 minutes or 4 rounds and 4 minutes basically, and then gets slept with a YOLO head kick in the fifth round of the final minute. That was at Salt Lake City in the same place, so maybe there is some sort of weird energy there, and the stars could align for the Warhorse. But if you look at Tapology, 92% is rolling with Pereira. It's basically all brown for the KO, so they think that the Warhorse is getting absolutely smoked, and of the 8% backers who are taking Khalil, it's all Brown. So basically, there are a couple of Khalil Roundtree's friends and family on Tapology, and they think that Roundtree picks up the KO finish. So if you are taking Roundtree to somehow get this dub, do you think he finishes Pereira?
Uh, I think he does. I think he takes the legs out, and I think he pummels them. Pereira is definitely not known to have this iron chin. I mean, he got snuffed by little skinny Izzy. So if Izzy can knock him out, Roundtree can absolutely knock him out. But this is going to be a sick fight. Someone's getting knocked out. Either Roundtree's getting knocked out or Pereira. But I think, I don't know why, my guy's just saying, the upset is going to happen.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Roundtree get finished in a long time, right? Not since 2019. And he did get finished twice early in his career, right? Johnny Walker, remember, slept him easy light work in the first 5 seconds. But since then, Roundtree's chin really has been iron chin, and he's been out there finishing dudes, right? Of his recent 5-fight win streak, 4 of them were finishes, 3 of them were performance of the night. And you touched on the leg kicks. I mean, I don't know if anyone has harder leg kicks than Khalil Roundtree in the UFC. And I don't know if Pereira has faced a guy, at least not in the UFC, that delivers those devastating calf kicks, those devastating low shots. I mean, obviously Izzy will sprinkle in some kicks, but not with the same power that Khalil has. And Prohaska has that long, wide, almost like karate style stance, and he doesn't throw many kicks, or at least he didn't against Pereira. So you wonder if this is a new element that Pereira will have to deal with. And I don't know, Meepo, I kind of like where your head's at. It's one of those weird ones where everyone thinks Pereira's just going to go through and steamroll Khalil Roundtree, but Khalil Roundtree is younger. The dude is an absolute monster. He hits hard, he's fast, and he seems to be both mentally and physically peaking. So I'm with you, me boy. I'm going to take Roundtree to get this one done. Do you think finish, though? Because, I mean, I kind of see a pathway where this fight goes longer than expected, and it's almost a back and forth war where Khalil Roundtree really shows the heart that he has, because I feel like he's been getting a lot of early finishes, but in this one, I can see a back and forth affair, and it wouldn't even surprise me if this somehow went the distance and Khalil Roundtree wins enough rounds. But do you see that to be a possibility at all, or do you really think it's finish or bust for Khalil?
Yeah, I think it is finish or bust. If he beats him by decision, that will blow my mind. Submission, I doubt is going to happen. If no one submitted Pereira now, this guy definitely isn't. He's not really known to be a submission specialist, but I just don't see him winning to decision. Pereira can win KO, win decision. He's very good at playing the striking point game. It's just, can a Roundtree go 5 rounds? We'd for sure know Pereira can go infinite rounds. It's like he never gets tired. So this is gonna be a sick fight. I doubt if it goes decision, it's definitely Pereira. If it's knockout by Pereira, it makes sense. But if Roundtree pulls this off, it's gonna be a brutal KO, a highlight reel for the social media.
Yeah, it's a good question. What does Khalil Roundtree look like in the 4th and 5th round? Because the dude is absolutely jacked, right? So you wonder if he can be too much of a muscle shark who gasses out late. We shall see. I mean, yes, Pereira has been scheduled for 5-round fights, but in that fight against Adesanya, that was the closest one to go the distance. He's never even gone 5 rounds, right? Because if you remember that fight against Jan, his only recent decision, Pereira's, that was only a three-round fight. So we'll see what Pereira looks like in that 5th round too, as well. But to your point, he does look like he has that sort of CEO style gas tank. But we'll see for sure. We're both taking Khalil Roundtree the dog though, so let us know if we're tripping in the comments, or do you think Roundtree has some sneaky life as well? And it's all the casuals who are betting up that Pereira line, and all the hardcores can swindle with Roundtree. Let us know for sure. But we broke down 7, Meat Boy, UFC 307. Last week you went 2-4. Your boy went 4-2. How do you do after episode 189 UFC 307?
Yeah, I'm feeling a 6-1 on this one.
6-1 for meat. I'm gonna say 5-2 myself, but nonetheless, the Meatlock should get back on track. Maybe we're the casuals who are wrongly fading Jose Waldo again, but we think we have found the true Meatlock in Mario Bautista. So, any last thoughts, Meat Boy?
No, this is a fun fight. This is a great fight card. I don't know if it's as good as last week's, but this is a good one nonetheless. Smash that me, subscribe, check out the other videos. Yep.